Good morning. This is David Plazas, Community Conversation Editor of the News Press. It is June 11th, 2012, and we have the pleasure of having with us Linda Doggett, who is running for Lee County Clerk of Courts. Editorial Board members, would you please introduce yourselves for the record?
My name is Luis Signar, I'm a citizen editorial board member from South Fort Myers.
I'm Cole Peacock. I'm an alumni citizen advisory committee from Fort Myers.
I'm Pam Grotehouse, citizen member from Bonita Springs.
Nice to meet you all.
And we also have members of the public here who are observing. Roy Hyman, who's a former editorial board member. And Mr. Doggett, we appreciate having you here as well. Well, Ms. Doggett, would you please talk to us about why you're running for this office?
Okay. Well, I'm running for the Clerk of Courts because I am qualified to hold the office of clerk. Charlie Green, of course, is retiring, and if it weren't for that, I wouldn't be running. But I am qualified. I've been with the clerk's office for 28 years. I have degrees in computer science and degrees in management and information systems. I have held the positions of the technology director for 10 plus years, the court department director for 10 plus years, and now I'm the chief operating officer responsible for the day-to-day operations of the clerk's office. 340 employees performing over 200 different functions, mandated by over 2,000 statutes, and we do a wide variety of duties, and I've been involved in all of them. I feel I'm very qualified for this position, and I feel that it's my duty to run and to serve as clerk.
Excellent. With regard to some of these statutes, I know over the years the legislature has tried to make your life, or at least the clerk's life, a little bit complicated when it comes to funding and who has control of courts, clerks, all those other things. Tell us a little bit about what you could do as clerk to basically be effective locally and also at the state level as it comes to funding issues.
I'm not sure I understand your question. If it's relating to the budget of the clerk's office, the clerk actually has 3 different funding sources. That's just to complicate things a little bit more. Our court-related functions are funded by the state. Our county services are funded by the county. And then we have services that are funded by fees, which are our public records and recording duties, where we do collect a fee for recording things in the public record. And that office, any excess of those fees will go to the county. And so we have been a part of all of the funding adjustments, in the downward trend over the last few years, and we have internally we've dealt with that, I think, very well, because we have been consistently working over many years to implement technology, where we are more efficient with doing more services, more work with fewer people, and as our workload declines, we just eliminate positions, basically not filling positions when they are open through attrition and that type of thing. We did at one point lay off a few folks at the worst of the funding crisis. So, what would I do to continue, I guess, the responsible actions of the clerk as it relates to funding? I would continue doing what we are doing, and that is to continue to automate processes that require today manual labor. Those things are expensive. Anything that relates to paper is expensive, not just for the clerk, but for our surrounding agencies, which we do business with. And we are the sort of the hub when it comes to information and dollars in the county. And so everything that we do, all the efficiencies that we provide, just multiply out to the other agencies. We put everything online. That helps other agencies do their business more efficiently, and therefore they save costs. So I would continue in that direction as it relates to the county. Of course, we audit the county. I'm sure everyone's well aware of that. But our audits really are after the fact. That we'll audit a county department and we'll talk about how well they comply with laws, how well they comply with policies and procedures, whether or not they have good internal controls for assets, which I think is a very important thing that we do, so that us as taxpayers aren't paying for wasted dollars on either, just controls that aren't very responsible, or catching fraud, or just carelessness and that type of thing. So we catch that, and those things are corrected if we do find them, and that is one of our responsibilities, as I think, as it relates to saving money countywide. And the other thing that we do, and that is my vision, is to continue to be very open, to be very transparent, and to be, to communicate, do a better job of communicating the financial status of our county, because we are the chief financial officer for the county, and to possible impact of board decisions on the budget and the financial status of the county. I hope that answered your question.
Yes, it did.
And I was commenting a little while ago that I've probably known you for, informally or formally, for 20-something years. But I always saw you with your briefcase. You were always very, obviously professional and very task-oriented, it seemed to me. Is that a good definition of how you operate? I mean, you don't seem to me, anyway, to be. You're just very efficient at what you do, but I never can say that I really got to know you. That could be my fault as well, but that's my impression. I was wondering if that's accurate.
Well, I think that's a good observation. Over the years, as I said, I started in technology, and when you're in technology, you don't really interact with the customers that much. You interact with clerks, the folks that work in the clerk's office, and we make sure that we meet the needs of the clerk, and as the clerk interacts with other agencies, we make sure that those things are, as a technology, we make sure that those things are covered and done well, and we rely on the clerk management team to provide information about interaction with customers. So in that role, you probably did see me quite a bit, and I didn't really interact with customers. And then I moved into the court department role, where I have been for probably 12 years now, and I have interacted much more frequently with judges, not so much with the attorneys, but a little bit. I know we talked about e-filing with attorneys. I did a presentation to the attorneys at one point, or at least set up that presentation and attended that. So I've been interacting more and more with folks, but it is my persona to be very professional, and to make sure that people are doing the tasks that they are supposed to be doing. I guess I am sort of task-oriented, but as you move up through the ranks of an organization, your role changes within that organization, and your perspective changes, and your interaction changes, and you know what I'm trying to say. And so your whole perspective broadens as you move up the ladder. And I would say in the last several years, I have really broadened my interaction with folks and customers, and I've been getting out to the community more and that type of thing. So I would say your perception is good, as part of where I've been, and not necessarily where I'm going. I will of course take my skills with me, in that I am very task oriented, and I'm a strong believer of technology and using that to be, make sure that we're being more efficient and that type of thing. And I'll always do that.
Tell me about your
One second.